There is a lot to learn from grandfather's life and his philosophy. And I don't know whether that can be really taught in classrooms through textbooks, because a lot of it has to do with love, compassion, respect, understanding, acceptance. All of these positive attitudes that we tend to suppress instead of allowing them to flourish. All around us were poor African farm workers who didn't have education for generations because they couldn't afford it, who worked for less than minimum wage, and so their life was one long misery. And I would see my mom, we on the farm, we had many cows and we used to get a lot of milk. And there would be a lot of surplus of milk. And she would sell this milk to the poor African people for 1 penny a pint. And sometimes even less than that, depending on how poor the person was. And I remember once my older sister asking my mom, why do you sell this money? Why do you take a penny for this milk? Why not just give it free to them? And my mom said, even the poor people have self-respect and dignity, and we must cherish that. And if we sell it to them, even if it is just a penny, they feel proud of having bought the thing instead of receiving things in charity for free. That was the kind of love and respect that is demanded for the practice of non-violence. We tend to give charity today, but our charity very often is motivated by pity instead of motivation by compassion. As a child, when I was growing up and I lived with grandfather at the age of 12, one day when I threw away a little 3-inch butt of a pencil, and because I wanted a bigger one and a new pencil, that evening when I went and asked grandfather for a new pencil, instead of giving me one, he subjected me to a lot of questions. He wanted to know how the pencil became small and where did I throw it away, and on and on and on, and I couldn't understand why he was making such a fuss over a little pencil until he told me to go out and look for it. And I said, you must be joking. He said, you don't expect me to look for a little pencil in the dark? He said, oh yes, he has a flashlight. And I must have spent about 2 hours searching for that pencil, and when I found it and brought it to him, he said, now I want you to sit here and learn 2 very important lessons. The first lesson is, even in the making of a simple thing like a pencil, we use a lot of the world's natural resources. And when we throw them away, we are throwing away the world's natural resources, and that is violence against nature. And the second lesson is that because in an affluent society we can afford to buy all these things in bulk, we overconsume the resources of the world, and because we overconsume them, we are depriving people elsewhere of these resources, and they have to live in poverty, and that is violence against humanity. And that was the first time I realized that all of these little things that we do every day, things that we overconsume or waste or destroy and throw away, that all of that is a form of violence.